All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Excited for you to be here with us today as a part of the Advisor Growth Network series, or webinar series, rather. Sorry about that. We got a number of folks signed up here today, which is great to see, on this exciting topic of AI and ways in which you can leverage this in your your businesses and such. And so I didn't put together I don't have a typical PowerPoint or anything along the lines for today. Just really want to have a conversation with you about it. I want to share with you some of the ways in which we're using it and leveraging it in our own work here at Legacy, but also how we've helped some of our clients in specific areas and ways in their businesses to be able to leverage resources like ChatGPT and things of that nature. So it's a really, really powerful tool. And that's our hope today. And the takeaway today is for you to really, get more comfortable with it, see what's possible, get insights around it. My team has put together a tool that if you like what we're talking about here today and you want to learn more about it and ways you can use it, I would suggest that you email Michael Fithian here on the team and ask Michael. He'll send you over the tool. He'll schedule some time with you to kind of walk you through the tool and play around some things and find out what are some of the ways in which you're looking to use it or could benefit from using it. So I know Michael just popped his email in the chat. Definitely reach out to him. And I'll if we have time today, I want to be respectful of your time. But if we have time, I'll kind of just bring up the tool and walk you through it just at a very high level. But if you want a copy of it and things, like I said, reach out to Michael. I think, first and foremost, I want to share some ways. Well, before I jump in, I want to ask you if you could please, just drop into the chat, if you will. You can just click on the chat in the bottom of your screen. But I just want to know, for the folks that are here with us, and I know we're going to have more people that are joining in. There's still people coming in, but are you, let me ask, have you used ChatGPT in your business? Yes or no? That's all. I just want to get a sense of how many of you that are on here today. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Becky. Rhonda, okay, great. Okay, I'm just going to take a peek at this because I'm just trying to get a sense. No. Yes, I use it. Tim Belber. No. Robbie, yes. Played with it, have not used it. Okay, cool. David Harris, how are you, buddy? Good to have you here. Awesome. No. Okay, good. So the good news is I don't think I have any experts here. So that's good because I definitely don't consider myself an expert in this space, although my goodness, some of the work that we've done, again, internally in our business and work for clients has been amazing. And I'm gonna kind of bring you into the tool. There's a lot of different AI, ways in which you can leverage AI. We tend to, or at least I on my team tend to use ChatGPT, and I'll kind of show you that interface a bit. I put some prompts in there, some of the stuff that's in the tool that will give you, afterwards if you reach out. But just to show you kind of what's possible and what comes out of it. But AI is showing up in all of our worlds, right? These custom experiences and things, how websites and things that you're going and visiting, that your clients and future clients are going and visiting, they're leveraging these personal experience and these personal connections so powerfully, and it's not going away. This stuff is only growing. And so in our world, I don't feel our community, our clientele is at risk today or in the future. I just don't, because we're in the relationship business. And I think the one thing is that human emotional connection is something that this universe of AI is always going to struggle with. I just believe that to be true. They can't create that human connection. So the way that we think about relationship and connections and serving clients in that way, I just think we're always going to have this significant leg up. Others are really going to struggle with it because they just don't know how to connect on that personal level and draw those personal connections out of people. But to give you a sense of some of the ways in which, I'll talk about it from my perspective, thinking about some of my client relationships, that I've worked on, we've helped create job descriptions, for different roles on teams, whether it be a sales role, an operations role, a specific insurance investment operations related role. And it's been really amazing with the job descriptions and the quality of them that it has produced. For one client, we actually even created an offer because somebody accepted the job and they found a good fit, to be able to go back to the person that accepted the job based upon this. Let's write an offer letter based upon these parameters back to that person. Sure, could we write those? And yeah, we could, but the efficiencies and the compelling nature of these communications is really powerful, and it allows us to get there so much faster and quicker. We've helped clients work through and defining their niche markets, right? And the problems that niche has in front of them that you as an advisor actually help solve through the work that you do. And I'll show you an example of that here today, for where, we can then ask, the engine, the Chat GPT, in this example, to, write us a strategic marketing plan based upon our niche, based upon the challenges they have, based upon the ways in which we solve and help address those challenges. Create a strategic marketing plan for us. And you'll see the power that can come out of it. And some of it's generic in things, but it's usually pretty good. And the more and more you compress it and challenge it, it just gets better and better and better. And so we'll talk about that as we go. Even this morning, I do my Google alerts from a marketing perspective. And again, if for those of you who do or don't know, Google alerts are basically for me, they're important topics that are important to you, my target audience and future target audiences. And that basically Google goes and does a worldwide search on periodicals and things of that nature for articles on those topics. And I go through and I look at those articles and things, and from time to time I'll post an article, and maybe I agree with the basis of the article, maybe I disagree with it, but it's just my way of getting legacy out there, myself out there, and creating connectivity and action and things of that nature. My point around this and AI is that LinkedIn, and you've probably seen it, LinkedIn, when you're doing posts and things of that nature, AI is an opportunity in there. You might write something up to set up the article or the position you're taking around it. And then it says, you want to see what AI would say about this, or how AI would say it. I would say probably 60% of the time, I like what AI does with what I'm trying to say. It makes it better. It dials it in. It cuts out words that don't add anything to it. So it makes it better and more purposeful and things of that nature. So, AI is showing up in so many aspects of, the work that we do. But as you think about your business, marketing plan, purpose, blogs, we're finding this extremely helpful in our world, at Legacy, as we're thinking about the next series of blogs that we want to write with inside the business. And we have lots of content and lots of ideas and thoughts. And so we feed the engine with our thoughts and ideas and our structures, and we see what it might come up with and what it might add to it. And then we continuously refine it down. But my point here is that I would say, from my standpoint, I think my team would agree, is that we find that we end up with a better product, a better work product in less time. Okay. And at the end of the day, all we have is time. So ways in which we can leverage our time and creating a really, really powerful work product, whatever it might be, a marketing plan, a series of blogs, a presentation we want to do, things of that nature. I think it's what we need to be doing. So that's a couple of pieces. I talked about that, email marketing communications. And I know, Michael does, when we're thinking about attracting new potential clients into Legacy, we're doing all kinds of communications out to that audience. But I know, Michael will oftentimes, he'll write an email communication, and then he'll put that into Chat GPT, and he'll say, write 3 variations of this, right? Email marketing and all of these things has gotten more and more challenging in the new year, and especially come February 1st. And you have to be very, very careful around that. That's probably a session for a whole nother time. But again, we're trying to be creative and touch audiences in different ways. And again, it takes a concept and it says, here's 3 versions of it that get to the same point but sound differently. And it's just really, really powerful and and purposeful there. So there's so many ways in which we can use it. And I wanted to give you an example today. Again, let me just share my screen here for a second. And this was something that I was playing with this morning, and it's this is really just one of our prompts that is in the piece that I'll share with you afterwards. But, what I did was I went into the system just playing around with it. And you can read this, right? The user part of this is what I put into, kind of Chat GPT. And so it's, I put in there that my niche is successful female entrepreneurs in Boston, Massachusetts. They're faced with the following challenges related to their financial futures. First, that they're being pulled in too many different directions professionally to focus on their finances. Second, they often have relationships with several different advisors whom they don't know how to direct because they haven't found the time to get clear on what it is they truly want and why it's important as it relates to their financial future. My skill set as a financial advisor is helping that niche with these challenges, because we have a unique process designed, and you can read on here, right, to help them get clear on what they want and putting that into a financial planning process so they can achieve it. Please create a marketing plan based upon this niche and the challenges they face. Okay. That's all I plugged into the thing. And I said, hey, let's see what it's going to come back with. Right. So, you can see this opening statement that it comes back with, facing these challenges. Creating a strategic, a marketing plan, a comprehensive plan to help address these challenges is obviously important. So here are the things that immediately came back with. You got to spend some time making sure that you understand your audience, which is great advice. Craft a compelling value proposition, develop an online presence, content marketing, social media marketing, network and partnerships, educational workflows and webinars, client testimonials, email marketing. Offer free consultations, measure and optimize, client referral program. So it came back immediately in a matter of, it probably took me 2 minutes to go ahead and plug in the framework. And in a matter of seconds following that, it came back with 12 ideas. I might look at in my business executing maybe 3 or 4 of these ideas. I wouldn't suggest that you try and do all 12, but there's probably 3 or 4 on here that you want to delve into much deeper, okay, at a much deeper level. So let's just even look at this, for example, and, what are some of the ways, if I was looking at this, I'd say a social media marketing, maybe it's, I want to create a series of blog posts, right? Let's say I wanted to create a blog post every month, to this audience. I could literally come in and look at, okay, you know what? We want to create a blog post. I'll just go in here and say, I don't have to probably say please to it. It'll do it anyways. Recommend a monthly blog series by topics to my niche. You can say anything, outlining their problem, their challenges. Let's just see what it says. Boom. Okay. Look at this. Month 1, navigating the professional maze. Month 2, unraveling the advisor network, defining your financial vision, the power of clarity and decision-making, strategies for efficient financial plan. This is ridiculous, right? If I really wanted to do this, and I'm thinking, hey, we're in February, I'm going to start this thing in March with my team, right? So what do we need? We need 10 between now and the end of the year. I'm going to take the first 10 and I'm going to say, I'm going to put a topic in there and I'm going to say, write a multi-paragraph blog 400 to 600 words in length on this topic. I'll just even say that, right? Let's just say the power of clarity in decision making. I hope this isn't boring. I hope this is helpful. Write a 600-word blog on this topic. Oh, hold on a second. Look at this. I mean, this is just ridiculous, right? The power of clarity in decision making for financial success. In this fast-paced world, female entrepreneurs in Boston, the ability to make clear and informed financial decisions is paramount. Like, I'm not even going to go on, right? I'm not going to read, obviously, all the way through this, right? But breaks it down. Now, am I just going to copy that, paste that, and go ahead and run with that? Probably not. But that just saved me. I don't know about you, but getting starting in writing was always my greatest challenge. When I thought about college and back in school and all of those days, like getting me started on anything, even today in business, the start is always the thing that I find to be the greatest challenge. I have all kinds of ideas, but how to get it going. This thing gets you going, and it builds a pretty strong framework for you to be able to come back and say, okay, hey, let's dial this thing in. Let's look at these sections. Do I want to add a section? But my hope was today, and I think this thing is behaving exactly how I want it to behave, is gonna hopefully it's showing you the power and simplicity, but you know, it's not going to give you what I think is the greatest outcome or the chance for the potential greatest outcome for you if you just plug something in and take it for what it is, right? You have to work it, you have to massage it, and you have to continuously, kind of work and refine it. I mean, I don't want to say continuously because now it sounds like we're doing a ton of work, but it's like you just look at this, right? This is a powerful blog post. All of this, I mean, we're 18 minutes into our time together here today, and I've probably been doing this for about, I don't know, 12 of those 18 minutes, 13 of those 18 minutes. And we've already gotten a strategic marketing plan, at least a framework for one, based upon our niche, the problems they have, how we solve those problems for that niche, a strategic marketing plan designed to execute on that to my niche, and then a series of blog posts. And I already have my first blog post written. And it basically took me all of about, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, right? So the leverage of power and things of that nature, but there's, so many aspects of how you can use this and leverage this. I saw John Cale mentioned in there for your website, 100%. All of these ways in which you can, just create further, more compelling language. Michael, you want to add something?
We do have a hand raised.
Oh, okay.
Let that person speak here.
Yeah, please.
All right, should be all set to speak.
I think you just got to unmute yourself. Is it Nazreen? Is it Nazreen? How do you say your first name?
Oh, looks like she's still muted. You can put something in the chat if you have a question, and we're happy to answer it. I'll put her back on
here. Yeah, I guess any before we go any further, I guess just any questions from the group, you can plug it into the chat and things of that nature, but just be curious about what questions you have about what I just did, what you saw, ways in which you might be able to kind of leverage this as a resource. Any questions or anything at all from anyone? Yeah, I mean, I think Becky, I just saw what's the benefit of the paid versions versus the free versions? That's a great question. I don't know, Michael or Jen, do you guys have any perspective on that, on the paid versus free? Tim Belber was asking.
I do know one benefit of it is sometimes because it's a public thing that people are signing into, the bandwidth gets clogged up. If you have the paid version, it always makes sure that you have access and that it will work. Because sometimes even I'll log in and try to use it and it won't be responsive because there's just too many people who are trying to access it at once.
Okay, yeah, I've had that happen to me too. So that's yeah, that's one good reason. We could maybe that's something we can research, Michael, and get back out to the group.
Sure.
You know, paid versus the free subscriptions. And then, excuse me, you know, Becky was asking in here, would you use this for, you know, feed lists or referrals? You know, I think it's actually a great idea, you know, to, you know, prompting it for ways in which, you know, because you can get really very specific. You know, I've never actually, Becky, I've never actually put somebody's name in here, my own or anybody else's, to find out who people are connected to. What I have done on the marketing side of things very specifically is, if this is my niche and I'm in Boston, right? What are all the ways for me to connect potentially with successful women entrepreneurs in the Boston area? And I have found that to actually produce, you know, events and things of that nature. So in that way and form, it can actually be very successful. But I've never actually, from a feed list standpoint, I've never actually put a name in of somebody and seen if it can actually generate connections to those people, if that's what you're asking. I don't know if I'm missing the basis of the question, but it's a good one, and I'll for sure we'll play around with that and see what's possible, because obviously that's an important one, right? Like, we're trying to create potentially strategic marketing plans, and at the end of the day, we're doing that because we want to get in front of more of the right types of people, right? So, you know, but anyways, social media post, unbelievable, Becky. You know, as I was saying this morning, if I'm posting an article, you know, I use AI to, you know, I'll use AI to kind of help me craft the message around that. I've used AI just in a very similar way that I've done this morning to actually craft an article. So I'll write the basis for an article on a topic and such, and then I'll put it into ChatGPT and I'll say, you know, listen, I'm posting an article on social media, and so I want it to be attractive to the readers, and here's the basis for my article. What changes or suggestions do you have for the article? And it's amazing what comes back in that. So you can leverage it in all kinds of ways for social media posts. This is the beauty of it, right? Like, when you think about social media, and David, I'll get to you in 1 second. I see your question in here, but if you think about it from a social media standpoint, so, okay, I got a series of blogs. This is my target audience. It's already told me strategic marketing plan, social media presence. I want to do a series of blogs. What are 10 blogs? You know, write the first blog. When I think about that, you know, as an advisor, if you have the potential to do this, I want to get that on my website, because I want visitors to my website know that I've got a blog presence and reading that stuff when they come. But I also want to get it outward facing. I want to put my blogs out on social media, because I'm definitely attracting an entirely different audience through my social media connections than I am people coming to my website. And if they do both and go to my social media, then end up on my website, or vice versa, you're just getting them, you know, double time. So the likelihood of them reading that blog or that post or whatever is just that much more likely. But you're exactly right that this is a way to, in my view, put gasoline in a very targeted and prescriptive way into your social media presence without a ton of work, right? If you've got great ideas, and know who the niche is and who you want to talk to, this thing will help you dial in compelling topics, and it will help you write them. So it's absolutely the way in which we're leveraging it and talking to our other clients about leveraging. with David Harris, with everybody generating more stuff. How do you create visibility and avoid just being part of the noise? I think that's hugely important, right? Like, what I think is important, and I sure as heck hope we're doing this, I believe we are on my team, is we got to have our voice in this thing. It's got to be recognizable that it's coming for legacy. And so that was my point earlier, David, in the fact that we don't just prompt something and put it in there and we're like, oh yeah, hey, that's an email communication we want to do to a target audience, or yep, that's a blog and we're going to take it for what it is. We absolutely are making sure that our voice is in it and that it's connected back to legacy. Because you're right, there's so many people out there that are just putting, basic stuff out there, and there's going to be more and more of that stuff happening. But the more that you can do it to a very specific and dialed in group as best you can, and make sure that it's clear and evident that your voice is in that. I just think you're going to be able to avoid it from that standpoint. But if you're just letting that thing do all the work constantly and not pushing it and refining it, which doesn't take a lot of time, as I just demonstrated, you're going to be able to keep your voice in that. And I think that's super important. So good one. So John Cale he's doing research while we're in our webinar here, and came back and said, the free versions tends to be more dated information, and paid is more current for data and facts. That's pretty interesting. So, I mean, that I don't even know what the paid subscription is or looks like. We're finding I'm on the free subscription. What I just showed you this morning, I'm finding it to be really, really good. And so if paying a few bucks makes it even better, then that's amazing. So, and then, John's asking, can you ask it to rewrite in humor or as a specific person? 100%. Some of you might remember a good friend of mine, Jim Stovall, the author of The Ultimate Gift, and I don't even know, Jen, like 50 or 100 other books. I mean, amazing individual, but we partnered with him to do the Ultimate Gift movie, and he wrote the Ultimate Gift book. If you've never read it, it's unbelievable. We should talk about it sometime because you can leverage it in your business with clients and all of those things. A lot there. But anyways, I was talking to Jim Stovall, who is a world-renowned author. I said, Jim, what do you think about this whole ChatGPT thing? ChatGPT, hello. Like, what do you think about it? Are you concerned about it? And all of those things. He said, not at all. He goes, the personal thread in this, I think, John, to your comment earlier, or David, sorry, to your comment earlier, like it is missing, right? Like the personalization that you can bring to it still allows Jim Stovall and each and every one of us to still have that voice in it. However, he goes, Todd, I will tell you, I had ChatGPT write Moby Dick in the voice of Jim Stovall. And because he has a body of work out there, a huge body of work, he said it was really scary how much it was in his voice and his tonality and all of those types of things. And so, you can ask it to rewrite with humor and, write in your voice. And the more you give it about your voice and all of those things, the better that it can do that. But yeah, that's a really good one. And again, that comes back to David's point around personalization. The more you're using it, the more the smarter I believe that it's going to continue to get about you and all of those things, and be able to do those things better. So wow, look at us, we're 29 minutes past. I'm going to stop this share and share something else for you here real quickly before I let you run. I think this is it. And so this is it. My team, put this together using ChatGPT. Just kidding. We did this without it, but it is this is for you. So if you want a copy of it, they put some cool stuff together with, marketing prompts for you, our clients and friends, and on a bunch of different things, niche leads, strategic marketing plans, optimizing ROI, so on and so forth. Some key prompts that you can put in and how you can leverage it. If you want a copy of that, reach out to Michael. If you want to talk and learn more about how you can use this in your business, reach out to Michael. Michael is basically all ChatGPT AI guy. So, but we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help. I hope just even this little exercise today in the discussion is helpful for you to see what's possible and, how you can leverage your time to create powerful, compelling, messaging, allow you to execute more timely, just simply execute. We're all inundated with lots of things to do, but this just allows you to create powerful stuff, execute your marketing plans and strategies, create that web presence in a much more powerful and efficient way. And so, hopefully this didn't make it seem so scary, and you can see some ways in which you can leverage it. But again, if you want the document, reach out to us, let us know. And if we can help you get this dialed in and think about some projects, we are here to do that. So thanks for being here with us today. We hope to see you at our next event. Tell your friends, colleagues, whoever, the more the merrier. We just love to share. So we'll see you soon. Have an amazing rest of your week, and we'll talk to you real soon. Cheers.